Hello, welcome back to the Polytunnel. It's Thursday the 11th of May today, and before we get into this video I just need to apologise about the sound of the rain on the Polytunnel roof. About 5 minutes ago when I was setting up to start filming in here, it was so sunny and so hot in here that I actually opened the end of the Polytunnel, which is something I don't do very often because there's two zippers, and every time you open and close that you always run the risk of one of those zippers breaking and then you need to buy a whole new Polytunnel cover. So I had it open, and then all of a sudden the grey skies came over and it started raining quite a lot, but hopefully it's stopped raining now. So it's been a funny old year, and it's quite funny actually. Recently I've been watching quite a few other people talking about hardening off their plants for growing outside, but I mean, I think I'm at least 4 weeks away from even thinking about putting anything outside, and a scary fact is that in about 6 weeks time we're going to have the longest day, and then we're going to start having the shorter days. So what a funny year it's been. But anyway, sorry, I digress there. Today's video is all about my very leggy tomatoes, and as you can see here, this is one of the tomatoes that has been inside the house and until about half an hour was sat on the windowsill, growing taller and taller by the day. So yeah, about half an hour ago they got evicted, and it's time that they started to harden off in the Polytunnel now for a couple of days before they actually get planted in their final growing positions. This year I'm only growing 4 varieties of tomatoes. I've got 2 bush types which will be grown in pots down on the patio. Well, hopefully they'll be grown outside down on the patio. And then I've got 2 cordon varieties. So the cordon varieties are Yellow Delight, and these are the Yellow Delight here. These were grown, well, they were started off indoors on the lovely windowsill, and then as soon as they got a bit bigger they got repotted into these pots here. And at the time I was starting to run out of room on the kind of windowsills and stuff around the house, so they just got left inside the Polytunnel, and we have had quite a few cold nights ever since, but they did absolutely fine out there. So I'm pretty pleased that I just left them because they're looking really healthy. And the best thing about these Yellow Delights is that they were from saved seed in 2019. They were just kept in a little plastic bag, not in particularly the best environment, you know, they were kept just in the kitchen on the side. But I'm really pleased that they are homegrown tomatoes, and they are Yellow Delight, which are like a little yellow plum tomato type. The other cordon is Gardener's Delight. Now these Gardener's Delight were potted on probably maybe 2 weeks before these ones, but the difference between these are when these got potted on a few weeks before these, they got taken straight into the house and put on a really sunny windowsill ever since. And when I potted on all of these, I've got probably about 10 or so, I left one in the greenhouse at the time. I think it didn't fit in the pots and I just had one left over, and that was really quite early on, maybe March time or so. And I don't know if you can see there just the difference in colour and difference in size. So this one here has been kept much colder and probably hasn't had as much light as these ones, but this is so big, so very leggy, and they definitely should have come out a little while ago. Gardener's Delight is the cordon type, which is a bigger kind of salad tomato. So they will be grown with the, well, they'll be grown alongside the Yellow Delight up here in the Polytunnel and also down in the greenhouse as well. The bush types are these ones here, and what is really interesting about these ones, I don't know if you can see here the difference in colour between the 2 varieties, but the Mini Bell has also been grown indoors on the same sunny windowsill as these Yellow Delights, but you can see already how bushy this one is. And I actually had quite a few Mini Bell seeds that I sowed, and only 4 of them actually germinated and grew on. So I can't wait to grow these. They're a lovely bush type, and they will be grown in a 10-litre flower bucket. I picked these up, well, it's not a flower bucket, sorry, it's a flower pot. And I picked these up maybe last year for a different project and they never got used. So I need to pick up another 4 of these. But I think it's too early at the moment to be putting them out on the patio outside, but when these get potted on into these, maybe in a week or so, they'll stay in the polytunnel or in the greenhouse until we do get that better weather. So there you go. And I really just love how stocky this one is compared to the other ones, especially. The stem is just so bulky and big. And then I've also got another lot which I'm really rubbish at pronouncing this one. This is called Principe Borgie, I believe. And this being a bush one as well, you can see the difference there. We've got the Mini Bell and the Principe Borgie, not pronounced correctly, I know. But yeah, they look so different, and I can't believe the comparison between these two. It's so interesting, isn't it? They've been given the same soil to grow in, and they've also had the same amount of light and heat because they've been on the same windowsill. So interesting. But I don't know if you can see here, actually, I'll just show you that because these have been in the pots for so long on the sunny windowsill, that they have started to get yellow leaves on the bottom, and that is because they are so hungry and they need feeding. Wow, the rain clouds have just moved out of the way and the sun's come back out, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's probably going to heat up very quickly in here again. But anyway, with these tomatoes, now that they've been evicted from the house, instead of getting them planted out in their final growing positions in the polytunnel and the greenhouse today, I think I'm going to give them a few days just to climatise to the environment that they're in before I disturb their roots and things like that. But because they are so yellow and leggy, they really do need a feed. So I'm going to be giving them a feed today, and the feed I'm going to be using is a liquid seaweed. This is one that I would always go for. I really love using liquid fertilizers when I fertilize my plants because it's just so easy to use. All I need to do is put a cap in the bottom of a 10-litre watering can, fill it up, and then water my plants. With the tomatoes today, all I'm going to do is actually just fill the bottom of the trays up with the liquid, and then they can just draw it up as and when they need it. I've certainly got more than enough tomatoes to be growing here, and definitely some that I can be giving away because I don't have enough room to be growing all these tomatoes. You'll have to let me know how my leggy tomatoes compare with yours, and have you actually got your tomatoes out in their growing positions already? Because I imagine probably quite a few of you have. It's just been, you know, such a funny year, I feel, with the weather that I'm just quite behind. But anyway, hopefully this weather's here to stay and we'll start getting a really good spring now into summer. You'll also have to let me know as well if you are growing any tomatoes from seed or from saved seed like I have. Hopefully they're going to do really well, and it will encourage me to save all of my own tomato seeds from now on. I love going to seed swaps as well, so it'd be great if I could save a load this year that I can then go and share with other people, because, you know, the cost of everything is going up now, isn't it? That if you can save money on seeds, that is brilliant. But also, you know, if you're saving them from seed, you knew what year they were actually saved, because when you buy seeds from a shop, it will tell you when they were packed and when they're, you know, they're kind of out of date, but it doesn't actually tell you when they were grown. So it's definitely worth saving your seeds if you can.